What do you see as the foundation's priorities over the next few years, Bob? Based on what you're hearing with the Coast Guard budget, and
Yeah.
and you're out in the field more than we're concentrated right here at the academy. So,
Well, I think we're going to be asked to do a little more bricks and mortar work than we've done in the past.
okay,
We did the lower field, on bricks and mortar, you could say, the L-44s. One of the third S, and I mentioned S, is scholarship, shipmate. Now we have a project for the Sault Ste. Marie. My former chairman, Ross Reeder, has undertaken the Sault Ste. Marie. Conditions up there look like 1940.
oh,
The nearest big box store for the people stationed up there is 60 miles away. They have government quarters, but they don't have a community center. So our bricks and mortar project right now is to build out the Sault Ste. Marie Community Center. We have a target of $300,000. No doubt it's going to cost $500,000, but we're determined. I know Stonington and others on the board that have an affinity to the Great Lakes, and we're trying to enlist D9 support, local persons as well, not the uniformed persons, of course, but to get that built up there in Sault Ste. Marie. That would be a huge, huge event. Beyond that, I know Mrs. Papp has a motivation for child development centers, and I've talked to Admiral Courier about that. Coast Guard has a lot of buildings that potentially could be a resource for childhood development, daycare, but when you start getting into those, then the whole architectural issues and zoning, and it's not easy just to say, okay, let's make this the daycare center. So daycare centers, we were down visiting, I mentioned Station Atlantic City. They have a field out there they call their Field of Dreams. They'd like to see a track and other, softball fields and lights at night and different things. So I think we're going to get into that. We're going to continue with the shipmate. We're going to continue with the scholarships. As you know, our real big thing is the Fallen Heroes Fund, where we provide scholarships for dependents whose parent have lost their life in the line of duty. And we have a disaster relief fund. When there is an unfortunate incident, we marshal our forces and get families and get out there to the memorial services and help plan those, and after a get together afterwards and so forth. So we're going to do all what we do, but the additional funds we've trying to raise, I think we're going to be asked to do more when it comes to the bricks and mortar piece.
do you see that as a challenge to you in the sense that the government has always been expected to provide those?
Well, it is a
brick-and-mortar-
challenge. Here's an example. Years ago, when someone was talking about why don't we build a swim center at the academy? Well, it's not really the foundation's job. But when you look at what goes through Rowland Hall, it's not just the cadets, it's OCS. It's probably all the other leadership schools that are here. There's some form of activity down at the swim school. We're not running rescue swimmers through the academy here, but I think with sequestration and the demands on the Coast Guard budget are so great, we'll be asked to do more.